Hello and welcome back to the channel. You are watching An Idiot Outdoors, and this is slightly different this week. I'm already in the hammock, got the tarp up, and regards underquilt and sleeping bag, not a chance. It's between 26 and 28 degrees today. By about 9 o'clock this morning it was about 20 degrees. I cut the front and rear lawn at home. It was so muggy, so there was only one thing for it tonight, and that was the hammock. I didn't want to be in a tent, but again, very slightly different this week. It's been that warm since I got home from work this morning. About 5 o'clock this morning I got in, and I've not slept yet. The heat has been horrendous. I got into bed this morning. I got into bed, the missus got out of bed, got the fan on. I must have dozed for not even an hour, and then I just woke up wide awake, hot, got myself a cup of tea, and that was it, game over. So as I say, I've set my alarm. I'm gonna have a little snooze, then the night's gonna commence. Motorhome, glamping pod, log cabin. We're not about that here. We do it proper. There is one thing, you've got to check out this t-shirt. Things I do in my spare time. Go camping, watch camping, research camping, talk about camping. Yeah, I do talk to Ryan about camping. Think about camping, always. Dream about camping. Actually, I have some more weird dreams, but not about camping, funnily enough. But this was a present for Father's Day, and I think, oh, look at that muggy, clammy sweat. Do apologise. Yeah, I think that is on the money. Anyway, I'm not here to model t-shirts. I will be setting up the bug mesh because last week I was eaten alive. Idiot! But then you should be used to it by now. Yep. Okay, so it's not the best, but it's a bit more covered than being completely exposed, especially where I am. Look at that. That might even be better actually. Now I've just put a stick in there. Nice little hide. That breeze is very welcoming. So before I get a nap, if you didn't already know it, today is the summer solstice. Today being the 21st of June. Yes, so from this point on, the days will start getting shorter. All the way up until the winter solstice, where they'll start drawing out again. But yeah, I did notice how light it was really early in the yard this morning, which then made me think, I'm sure it's got to be the summer solstice soon. Lo and behold, check my phone and guess what? It happened to be today. How about that then? Apologise for the noise. I'm not too far away from a road, obviously. Okay, so it is 12:20. I've had a really good sleep and I'm not bothered. I did set the alarm for about 8:30. I didn't even hear my alarm. I must have slept through it. Now I don't ever sleep through my alarms. I'm normally quite, when the alarm goes off, unless I just switched it off and went back to sleep. I don't know, but I am well rested and I don't care that it's night time. Seems to be quite a few cars coming past for the time that it is up here. Normally it's really quiet. But I've had to put the fleece on, not because it's cold, because it is bugs galore tonight. It's still ridiculously warm. When I get in the hammock again, which no doubt will be probably daytime now, get a few hours, but when I get in the hammock again, I'll be taking this off because I've got the bug net to protect me. So I'm going to chill out. I'm going to get some food on the go. Yeah, I've been awake since about 11 PM. Okay, so it's 2 AM and allegedly, according to the app, it's 20 degrees. Yeah, I mean, I don't even need the fleece on right now, but it's protected me from bug bites. That's the only reason I've got it on. However, it seems in the last hour there's a lot less bugs than there was when I first put the lamp up, so I might take the fleece off. I'll tell you one thing, when I reside to getting back in the hammock, I'm doing away with the fleece. There's no need for it. It is really warm. And I've actually got the Bluetooth speaker on the go. I mean, you won't be able to hear it, obviously. Copyright reasons and all that blah. Yeah, so I've been just chilled, having a few beers. I actually seen a badger rummaging around. Yeah, not very often I see badgers. I can hear cows mooing, and I've heard owls throughout the night. Yeah, the reason for my silence was I was hoping you'd be able to hear the cows mooing. All I can hear is moo in that direction. We're near a farm. Yeah, I can still hear them. I don't think the camera's going to pick that up. I don't know whether to have some snacks or to cook some food yet. I think I'm going to have my snacks. Let's have a look. Ooh. Snacks where for art though. Ooh. There's definitely here somewhere. I can hear them. They are in my main pack. Winner. do apologise for the shakiness. Okay, so we've got some cheese and chive potato snacks. I'll have a few of them. That'll see me through for a bit. I seen in the news today about Liam and Noel seen out publicly for the first time since they basically announced the tour. I always said, and there is people that can vouch for me here, that when the price is right they will do a reunion tour, and lo and behold, what are they doing? Yeah, money talks. I don't care what anybody says, money talks. On that note, I'm going to dine on these lovely snacks. Okay, so it's about 14-15 minutes off sunrise. Yeah, it's about 3:30 in the morning. I've had a lovely, fantastic chill. Listening to the tunes and just chilling out. For the first time in a few days, it started to get a little bit nippy. However, by the time the sun comes up, I reckon an hour later it's going to be 60 degrees temperature again, so I'll brave the little bit of chilliness because I know it's not going to last long before I'm sweltering. Well, the sky's starting to lighten up. If I had to choose whether I wanted to do camping in the summer or winter, which do you think it is? I'll tell you, winter every time. Now I know obviously the age-old tradition of camping is in fair weather, nice, warm, sunny, you know, but we don't do conventional here. Now I prefer the colder months. I don't do very well with heat. In fact, I can't stand the heat. Anything that makes me sweat, I'm not interested. Point blank. Summer. Yeah, you don't have to carry loads of gear to keep warm, but you can't carry an aircon unit, can you? So when it's really horribly hot, you've just got to grin and bear it. Whereas in the colder months, you can always put layers on. You can always set the tent up to suit the temperature. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Excuse me a third time. But yes, you can always put layers on. In the summer, you can only take them off until you're naked, can't you? And then it's against the law. Not that I want to go around naked, obviously, come on. But yeah, I do prefer cold weather camping. I appreciate that nice warm heater. I appreciate a nice hot meal before bed. I appreciate your 4-season bag. Wind just kicked up out of nowhere. And if you watch the channel long enough, you'll know I love a good old rainy night's camp. You can't get better than being in the tent when it's absolutely blathering it down with rain and you're inside nice and warm, cosy, had some lovely food in the bag, all tucked up.
You can't do that when it's sweltering hot. You're merely just trying to get through the night. Now, obviously there's people out there that love the heat, love the hot weather. I hate working in it, I hate camping in it. Also, all the bugs, midges, mozzies, all of that. Yep, exactly. I mean, my ideal camp would be just between summer and winter, all year round, bang in the middle. But that's not good for the environment, it's not good for, you know, the earth. Obviously we have to have these changes, so I have to just integrate with it. Anyway, enough of the old waffle. Sun's coming up, I've dug myself a hole. I'm going to get the barbecue on the go because I'm going to cook some chicken thighs. Another thing, yes, that's another thing you have to worry about in the summer, setting fire to places. In the winter, everything's damped down, it's, you know, mostly a bog. You ain't got to worry about things obviously setting on fire. In the summer, very cautious about how I cook in case I set a forest on fire. I do not want to be that person. Yes, oh, I've dug a hole and I'm going to get the little stainless steel stove on the go. Got some barbecue coals for that. I'm going to cook some chicken thighs. Very simple this morning. I've got some hot dogs, I've got some eggs, I've got some noodles and the chicken thighs. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Almost 4:20 now in the morning. Let's fire up the mini grill. Okay, we'll try that again. So my DIY firelighters that I made seem to be working. I did make sure the wind was going away from us, which is obviously that way, as you can tell by the flames. Okay, so we have got some chicken thighs on the grill. Okay, so I've resorted to pan frying the food. Yeah, the barbecue's taken a very long time, and the first lot of coals I put in, they did burn down quite quick. I put the second lot in just to, you know, and it's still got a way to go. I can't be bothered to wait. It was actually nice to watch the sunrise while I was cooking my sausages and my chicken thighs. Now I did plan to have sausages noodles and eggs, fried eggs, and I've just had sausages and chicken thighs. I've got a couple of cups of tea on the go. Beautiful. And I'm going to get in the hammock. Why am I going to get in the hammock? Because I'm so used to doing things on the opposite side of the clock, and when I say the opposite side of the clock, I mean on Australian time, or should I say working nights. As you know from previously in the video, I got here, I set up, got in the hammock, overslept because I hadn't had much sleep when I got home from work. Got up close to midnight, or I can't remember what time it was now. I'll know when I look back on the video, but yeah, got in the hammock, had a really good sleep, and then I've been up all night, which is what I'm used to. Had some food, having a brew, and I'm going to get back in the hammock. Because why the hell not, eh? It's actually nice for once to stay in my cycle instead of disrupting my body clock, should I say. I'm going to probably set my alarm for 1, maybe 2 o'clock at a push. What time is it now? I haven't even checked the time, to be fair. Check the time. Okay, so it's 7:20. Providing nobody bothers me, I'm going to have a really chilled out day. Didn't need anything in terms of a sleeping bag or anything warmer than a fleece, and if my predictions are correct, I'll probably end up taking the fleece off and just sleeping in my t-shirt. I'm sure it's going to be hot again today. But yeah, the way I look at it is, I've said it many times before, camping, the outdoors, you do it on your own terms. It's whatever it means to you. It doesn't have to be your old stereotypical, whatever you see camping as, it doesn't have to be that. You make it yours, you own it. As Molly, my friend Molly, has often said, you make it to suit you. Second cup of tea. Whoa. I've got to be honest though, the food wasn't the best. Barbecue was a bit of a thumbs down, so I ended up resorting to the old frying pan. If all else fails, the backup plan, the frying pan. Hey, that rhymes. Okay, so I've set my alarm for 2:30 in the afternoon, of course. I'm going to get some shut-eye. I love the hammock. I say it every time I'm in the hammock, but I do love the hammock. I mean, if it wasn't for the missus probably getting a little bit upset, I'd probably get rid of my half of the bed and put some D-shackles on the wall and just have a hammock. But yeah, that's not going to work, is it? It's just not practical. But they have, or should I say, I know they used to have hammocks on ships in the past because they take up very little space, obviously, when you're not sleeping in them. And also, another good thing about the hammock, if the sea's really rough and you're in a hammock, I believe, because I've not actually slept in a hammock at sea, but the actual fact that you're suspended actually alleviates a lot of that rocking motion. Maybe somebody out there who slept in a hammock on a boat will correct me, I don't know. But I also know my friend Mark, hi Mark, he used to sleep in a hammock in the cab of his lorry, and if he was on the side of a road and lay by with lorries going past which would rock the lorries, it would actually dampen out the actual rocking motion. Yeah, hey, that's a tip for you lorry drivers if you don't know. If you ain't got a sleeper cab, get yourself a hammock and put it across the cab, put your sun visors down, and voila. Thank Mark for that tip. Anyway, as I said, I'm off to sleep. Just like that. Well, sudden downpour. Yeah, so about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, of course. I've had a lovely sleep. I think that rain woke me up. It was really giving it some. To be fair, this woodland really did need a good dousing down. It was really dry. Well, it's really dry, it's potential for a fire. Oh yeah, down jacket. I should have brought my sleeping bag after all. Today's temperatures have been a lot lower than yesterday. I was expecting it to be really hot again today and sticky and horrible, but it's been quite cool. And I woke up and I was actually chilly, really chilly. I've got the fleece on, of course, and I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll grab the down jacket out my bag and just put that over the top of me, and it's just been perfect. Put my arms through the sleeves up. Real tranquil though. Had some right bizarre dreams. Seems to be easing off a bit now. The sun's trying to come back out again. I ain't bothered about a drop of rain. And we are finally back up again. Have a guess what time it is? You're way off. You're probably right actually. I'll tell you what time it is. Nearly 3:30 in the afternoon. I am well rested. It's saying it's 21 degrees. Doesn't feel like 21 degrees. It feels on the chilly side. I mean, it's not that chilly now that I need my down jacket on, but I do regret not bringing my lightweight sleeping bag, or should I say my season 2 sleeping bag. Been bitten again. I think that was last night. It couldn't have been while I was in the hammock because I had my fleece on. I mean, last weekend, I think I was eating alive. I got bites in my head, bites on my arm, bites on my hand. That's what you get when you fall asleep all night in your chair, ain't it? Like an idiot. You know what time it is now? Kettle on time. I might do some sausage and egg. I will do some sausage and egg actually. I'm a bit hungry. Okay, so I've emptied the ash into the hole. I have mixed it with a drop of water just to make sure there's no hot ashes burning. I'm going to leave that for a while just to make doubly sure. Then I will fill the hole back in and put it back to how it was. Now over here, this is just a bit of a makeshift windscreen I made out of just aluminium foil, or aluminum foil for the American people. What I've done is I've just got some the old cheap nasty tent pegs, and so I can have it to whatever size. I use an angle grinder to cut them down and just to make them a bit sharp so they go into the ground easier. What I can do is put me kettle on there, and I can bring it round to however I like that. Look, easy winner. I have put some holes at the base. You can't see them, but I have. Allow some air in, stop it snuffing the flame. We'll get that lit. Voila. I think I might put the old sausage and egg idea on the back burner. I might have them when I get home. It's about 4:10 now already. Or I might just wait until have my evening meal. Get packed away, get out of here. Well, I don't think I'll be doing any sleeping tonight, will I? I'm on the Yorkshire Gold, and it says on the packaging, biodegradable, you can put them in your compost. So for that reason, I've actually put the 2 bags in this hole because they're very damp, to add to wetting the ashes down. I'm going to fill that hole back in a moment. So yes, this is another little location I've found. Again, I'm going to keep it under my hat. I do like to have some places where I keep them secret, because I do fear that people will come along, the wrong kind of people, and start fires and leave rubbish and do all the things that us respectable campers hate. Yes. A lovely cup of tea. The wind's certainly picking up a bit. I was hoping it would dry the top of my tarp, so I ain't got to get it back out again and air it out in the garden. I think it's only that corner that's a bit wet now. I've got my towel so I can dry it off, and then I can pack it away as long as the heavens don't open again. My camo net, that's dry. Wind's blown that dry. But yeah, it did half lash it down. There was parts where it was really giving it some, which I didn't film, but because I was a bit half and half, sort of opened my eyes, thought, wow, it is really giving it some. And lucky for me, I remembered to put the drip loops on. Not a single drop of water got into the hammock. Now what I do find in the woodlands, I'm going to let that plane go past, or helicopter, sorry. It's safe to say it's past now. So what I do find when you're, tell you what, the cars go down here at some speed. Yeah, start again. What I do find when it rains, when you're in the woods, is with all the tall trees, I've yet to have where the rain comes at you sideways. It's almost like the trees stop it, so the rain always comes down vertical. So up till now, I've never had to worry about it being open at the ends. You should find, especially with all the leaves on the trees, the rain hits the leaves and then just drops down. So for that reason, like I say, I've yet to have it come in when it gets blown in this way. I'm sure it'll happen at one time. And that's where I've noticed people use the bigger DD tarps, and you can sort of close them in at the ends, which is ideal, so that gives you a bit of rain protection. But up till now I've done really well with this tarp. It's a few years old now, and it's as good as the day I bought it. As I say, it's like wacky races out there on that road. Won't take me long to pack up. It's not like I've got a tent to put away and one more thing. Now, I did notice people made comments about the teapot last weekend. It was purely a joke. It was just me being stupid. There's one person says, why have you took that big teapot with you? Why didn't you just take tea bags and stay ultralight? Because the ultralight thing is a bit of a joke on me. I am that idiot, don't forget. You'll take half a brewery up the side of a mountain. Ooh, that's probably why my back's so bad at the minute, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, we are slacking a bit lately, aren't we, with the old banner, flag, whatever you want to call it. Camo net and a big white banner. Yeah, that works, doesn't it? Okay, so I've only really now got to pack the chair away and take the tarp down. It's lovely and open now. I don't normally, when I put the tarp up, have the camo net across there. However, because I already knew in my mind I was going to get some shut-eye, I just wanted a bit more privacy, because you never know if anyone's going to come walking in here or bring a dog in here or whatever, and I do like to have it open usually, but I think it actually did sort of make it a little bit more stealthy. Now I've sat here, and you know how ad hoc the channel is, you know, I wing it, I make it up as I go along, non-scripted and all that. You're always asking me questions. I'm going to ask you guys a question. I think this will be interesting. What do you think my favourite type of camping is? When I say that, I mean hammock or tent. Give me your answers in the comments and I'll get back to you. I have heard lots of strange noises. Now to me, they are not strange noises. I'll tell you what I've heard quite a lot. Sort of a laughing noise. I've heard a man coughing. That sort of noise. I've heard dogs barking, but there is definitely a dog around somewhere, but that's a definite. So the laughing and the coughing, it's nothing to be scared of. I'll tell you exactly what it is. With the wind up, it's tree branches rubbing together, or where you've got, I'll show you. Can you imagine this? Tree branches here, or even here. The way them branches are rubbing. But you take that and then you have it on a bigger scale. So we're talking up there. and the sort of noises it comes back with, you'll be surprised. It can be anything from your standard creaking noises to, I've heard, sort of a baby crying noise. I've heard, as I've already said, adult male coughing, laughing noises. Now, a lot of people would be in the woods at night who are new to this, and they would righteously be really freaked out. The more you spend time in the woods and the more you figure out what the noises are, the more comfortable you become with it. Now, this isn't your typical woods that I would sort of go to. The road's only metres away, yards away, whichever, imperial, metric, we don't care about that here. But go away, wasp. Yeah, when you're really deep in the woods, you're going to have animal noises, muntjacs barking. If you've never heard a muntjac barking before and you hear it for the first time, I mean, somebody asked me in last week's video, what was that noise at whatever the time it was? It was muntjac. And they're only little deer. They're not native. They are from Asia. If you're not sure, look them up. Very weird. Got glands on their face. But yeah, they're only tiny little things. Their bark is bigger than their bite, and that is correct. They give it all that, but they usually do that because they can sense that you're there, or there are other muntjac in the area, and they are, I think, they're territorial. I don't know too much about them, but if you didn't know about them, it would give you a bit of a fright. As long as I've done the channel, I've tried to sort of break down the fear factor. A lot of people quite often say to me, oh, I don't know how you do that, stay in the woods on your own at night and that, and I've said it many times. You are safer in a wooded area or a woodlands at night than you are in the centre of town. I mean, how many people or how many muggers or robbers do you find walking through the woods at night thinking, there's bound to be loads of people here I can rob? Well, it doesn't happen, does it? Unless it's obviously a nature spot, and it happens during the day obviously, but night time, yeah, I would say you're a lot safer. If you're new to camping and you're going out on your own, my advice to you would be, let somebody know where you are. Always let somebody know where you are. Saying that, my missus ain't got a clue where I am. Use your own advice, I say. I have got to be honest, this is the greatest I've felt in a long time doing a camp. And normally, when I wake up in the morning from camping, my head is just all over the place because of obviously the night shift pattern, and then I'll try and switch back. But doing this nocturnal camping, this has been absolutely, I feel absolutely 100%. If I could, I'd stay here another night, but I'm sure my missus will want to see me by now. It's getting close to 5 PM. Yes, 5 PM. So on that note, we've got to get out of here. So, for me, the camp's not over until we pack the chair away. When the chair's packed away, that's it. Game over for the camp. Talking of chair, I think this is like the fourth time I've used the new chair, maybe third. How am I finding it? Am I impressed with my budget? Not lightweight, but am I impressed with my Adventurage chair by Aldi? Very. It is a stable, solid piece of kit, and I am mightily impressed. although a little on the heavy side. I've already spoken about that. But yeah, once again, it's now 5:20 and I've definitely got to get out of here. Whilst packing away, I've just remembered an idea I've had, and I ran this by Ryan a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I quite oftenly run my ideas past the people I go camping with. So that idea was to do sort of a little series away from the main channel. It will still be on my channel, of course, but it will be an idiot's guide to, and it could be anything to do with camping. So my take on stuff, it could be anything. It could be my thoughts on sleeping bags, so it could be an idiot's guide to sleeping bags and sleep systems. Now, you may be thinking, well, that's been done and it's been done so many times, but yeah, great. But it's going to be my take on it and how I get by hot weather, cold weather. You know, it's just an idea. It could be anything. It could be a list of an idiot's guide to equipment. And obviously, I'm not the best when it comes to lightweight. But then, it doesn't always have to be lightweight, because, for argument's sake, I do these camps, and quite oftenly, I'm close to home. I'm not backpacking for an hour and a half to get to my destination and stuff, so weight isn't really always an issue for me. If obviously I'm going to do something a bit further afield, I have got to consider that. But going back to what I'm saying is, I think it could make for a great little side series. So again, this is me asking you, what do you think? Anyway, I am now literally all packed up. The hole that I dug for the barbecue has been filled in. And of course, I was between these two trees here. Initially, I weren't sure with the thickness of the trees whether the hammock straps were actually going to be long enough across here, but lo and behold, I was actually quite surprised actually how much room I had on each one on the daisy chains. Now, I'm not going to film going out of here. I'm keeping this one secret. So this is me saying goodbye to you. I'm not going to say the obligatory cliche, leave no trace, just said it. So I'm going to say instead, if you brought it with you, take it with you. Please don't give us campers a bad name. Bag of rubbish and the much needed cooler bag to keep the bevies nice and cold. That's me done. I'm getting out of here. So, as always, if you've liked this content, please give me a big thumbs up. Please subscribe, and you can always buy the idiot a coffee. Not compulsory, not obligatory. It's been great having you along, as always. I've had a fantastic chilled out camp, better than the miserable failed camp that I had last weekend. So, don't forget, as always, keep it real, and I will see you on the next one.